What's up, comic book community? Joe here, bringing you another episode of 360 Comics. Over the weekend, I attended a Philadelphia comic book community staple known as Philly ComicCon, and I brought home some great stuff. I touched all my bases. I got some books to sell, I got some books for the personal collection, and I got books that I might be speculating on. Stay tuned to see what I brought home. As of the time of recording this video, we are only 35 subscribers away from hitting our goal of 2,500, at which point we'll be giving away this book right here, Edge of Spider-Verse #1, the 1 in 25 Ramos variant in a 9.8. If you want to win this book, please subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up for a like, and leave a comment down below. And of course, check out our other videos, like them, and leave comments on them for additional entries. We'll be picking a winner within the next week or two, so get on it before it's too late. Good luck. So this comic book show happens about every other month during the year and has been happening for many, many years, I think decades even. It's known as the Philly Airport Show. Some people call it that because it's located in Essington, Pennsylvania, which is right near the Philadelphia International Airport. And as you can see, wall-to-wall comics. We've got this big island in the middle with dealers all around the inside and then dealers all around the outside perimeter as well. And look who it is. It's our friend, the collecting dude himself, aka Alex. Hey Alex, how you doing? Let's keep moving though. There was something for everyone here. You'll see there's a table full of pops down on the right hand side, and then if you look up, Golden Age comics. Those things don't normally go together, but then if you turn around, right across from the Golden Age comics, a wall of entirely modern comics. Something for everyone, so, I don't think any collectors are left out at this show. As you can see, despite the small size of the room, they packed tons of comics in there, and I was able to find some really great deals. Let's get to the haul, starting off with this book right here, Catwoman #1. Now, this book is a pretty low-value book, sells for about $5, if and only if it is in really high grade. Anything from the 90s and more recent, you really want it in high grade, near mint, 9.8 contenders and stuff like that. But anytime I find this book for just $1, I'm going to pick it up. It's the first Catwoman book in the ongoing run. And it's also just a really great embossed cover. Got some texture to it. So it probably is hard to press. But I've never really pressed that book. Then we've got this one right here. Also was $1, Batman the Cult #1. First appearance of Deacon Blackfire and the first book of the Cult run by Jim Starlin with Bernie Wrightson art. In fact, I actually did come across a vendor that had, it wasn't this book, unfortunately. It was only issues 2 and 4, and they were signed by Bernie Wrightson. And if he had the whole set, I would have bought them. But just because it was only 2 books, I didn't want to go ahead and just buy 2 of them. If it had been #1, I would have just bought #1, but unfortunately was not able to make that work. But I totally would pick that up if I saw it for a reasonable price. Another dollar bin pickup right here, Superman #123, first appearance of Superman Blue, his electric blue costume. And I believe not only is this just a significant key in 90s Superman or early 2000s Superman, but they're using this suit again in the current run. At least I believe that's what I heard. I think maybe it's Tom Taylor's run. Might be wrong about that, but I think I heard that somewhere. Figured it was a good one to pick up either way because, it is just a little small key. Then we got Infinite Crisis #4. Now, normally, I would not buy issue #4 from this run. You want to either have the whole run or you want to have the keys, which are 3 and 5. But someone's been asking me about this book. Apparently, he has the whole Infinite Crisis run except for this book. He's one of my regular customers, so I picked this up for him, and I'm going to throw it in free with his next order. If he's watching this video, he's going to know he's getting it, but otherwise, it's going to be a surprise. I like to do that every once in a while, just find something cool for cheap and throw it in for my regular customers that are always buying stuff from me. Then we got this one right here, another dollar bin find, Spider-Man number, what is this, 16? I forget, 15. Eric Larson cover. This is, after Todd McFarlane left the run, and this cover is just really awesome. but it's a newsstand as well, which harder to find newsstands in the early 90s, and this one is exceptionally high grade. I might actually get this one graded. I'm going to look it over again and see if I can, possibly get the 9.8 on this, because this would be a great book. Not a high value book, maybe might sell for $80 to $100, but definitely a great pickup given the newsstand and the fact that it's high grade. That would probably stay in the personal collection if I did get the 9.8. This one, you don't find these in a dollar bin very often. Actually, you know what? This wasn't from a dollar bin, so I retrace my words a second. As you can see at the top, right up there, it says $5. This was in a 50% off bin, so I only paid $2.50 for it. This is the first appearance of Amanda Waller, Legends #1. Yeah, issue #1. This is like a super underrated book in my opinion, especially given that we've seen Amanda Waller on the screen a couple times, and my guess is because James Gunn has taken over, she will likely be staying around because he has utilized her in his movies. We're gonna have to wait and see, but I would think that this is something that is a good book to hold on to. And this is a nice high-grade copy as well, which, you really want for a book from the 80s. Then we've got Future State Wonder Woman #1. This is the design variant. I believe all of these design variants, if I remember correctly, were 1 in 10 variants. They're not super rare ratios, but they are a little bit of a ratio. And not only that, but this is actually the first appearance of Yara Flor as Wonder Woman. That cool little key significance is enough to make this book, in my opinion, worth more than the $2.50 price tag. Again, this was marked at $5, but in the 50% off bin, so seemed like a no-brainer to pick that up for that low price. The rest of this stuff cost me a little bit more. This is Infinite Crisis #5. This is the first appearance of Jaime Reyes as Blue Beetle. It's unfortunately not the cover with him on it. That is definitely the more sought-after cover, which is the I guess that's the George Perez cover, right? Because this is the Jim Lee. I think that. No, sorry, I apologize. The Jim Lee cover is the one with him on. This is the George Perez cover, and it's the sketch variant as well. I don't know if this was. I assume this was a ratio variant. I don't know what ratio it was. Probably a 1 in 10 or 1 in 15. It's not a very expensive book. But, it was marked at $20, and again, it was in that 50% off bin, so I paid just $10 for it. Seemed like a no-brainer, given that we're getting Blue Beetle on the screen literally later this year, and I'm very excited for that movie. Woo! Good thing this thing's in Mylar. Protecting it. But yeah, it seemed like a no-brainer to me to pick that up. Going up a little bit more. Actually, this is the same price value-wise. Again, another $20 label, but 50% off. So this cost me just $10. This is the first appearance of Spider-Hulk. It is nice high grade. This is one that I often have in my claim sales, and is a book that people love to pick up, whether you're a Spider-Man fan, a Hulk fan, or just picking up Marvel keys. It's definitely one that kind of everyone wants, especially because the character's on the cover. That always makes it better when it's a key first appearance and so on and so forth. But yeah, for $10, this was easy choice. These typically sell for like 20 to 25, depending on condition. This one right here is a book that you've probably seen 10 or 20 different videos where I've picked this book up, and there's probably been another 10 or 20 instances of me picking it up in the last year or so that wasn't on video. But this is the first appearance of Jubilee, X-Men #244. This was another 50% off book. It was marked at $40, so I got it for just $20. First appearance of Jubilee. In my opinion, this book is underrated. I understand that there was a big print run of X-Men in the late 80s, but nonetheless, this is such a major character, and 9.8s have come down quite a bit. I actually don't have a 9.8 right now. I had one. I sold it off a while ago. But that is definitely a book that I'm looking to grab at some point this year for my personal collection in a 9.8. If none of the copies that I currently have get a 9.8. This one possibly a contender. There is a little spine tick and a little bit of a color rub. I would think this would probably be more like along the lines of a 9.4, but if I can get that spine tick out and it's not breaking color and I can clean up that color rub a little bit, maybe this one's a contender. Either way, $20 for a high grade copy is definitely a-okay with me. And I'm going to be sitting on this for a while and not selling it. This is more of a spec and or personal collection book, just because I think this character will be coming to the screen at some point soon. Another book for the PC right here. This is X-Men number 221, and if you notice something a little bit different, there's a couple little things on the cover that are not the same as the regular printing of this book. First of all, the price on it is different because this is a So Much Fun reprint. And you can see down at the bottom here, instead of the barcode or the Spidey head, it says So Much Fun down there, distributed by, I think. Yeah, distributed by So Much Fun Incorporated. This was some kind of reprint run, maybe kind of along the lines of Whitman. I actually don't have a lot of information on it, so if you know, inform myself and inform the community in the comments below if you know some information about the So Much Fun reprints. I know they did a couple different books, and it actually turns out that all of those books are keys, at least the three that I know of, are all key issues, which is really cool that they probably were randomly chosen. But X-Men 221, this is the first appearance of Mr. Sinister. This is the most expensive of them. The other two that I know about are Batman 401, I believe is the number. It's the first appearance of Magpie. It might be like tied for the first appearance of Magpie. There's some debate on that, but still, she's on the cover. It's a great book to pick up. And the other one is Amazing Spider-Man, I want to say 290 something. It's the first appearance of Normie Osborn. And, you know, again, a minor first appearance, but definitely something worth talking about, worth notating. So those two books also have these reprints that say classic under them, and then have the So Much Fun down there. Again, I don't know much about that, so if you do, please let me know. I've been looking for a copy of this for my personal collection for a while. This was the first time I actually came across one out hunting for comics. Even at a convention, I have never seen one of these, only online. So for this one, I had to pick it up. Because it was in the personal collection, I paid a little bit more than I normally would. I paid, just a little under fair market value, about $50 for this. I think, in high grade, in the condition it's in, probably worth about $60, maybe a little bit more. Not 9.8 worthy though. So it's probably in the nines somewhere. Either way, great book. And I've never come across this version, so it was an easy pickup there. This next one, definitely for the PC here. We've got some Golden Age horror, some pre-code horror, if you will. Haunt of Fear number 20. This would have been probably 1954. I don't know the exact date on it. I don't think it says on the cover. But yeah, no. It says August, so I would think that would be August of 1954, but I may be wrong about that. This is one of the EC horror runs. They did, Vault of Fear or Tales from the Crypt. A lot of the pre-code horror books from the 50s. Were EC, and EC was ran into a ton of trouble because they did a lot of horror, they did a lot of really gory covers and stuff like that, that unfortunately were squashed by the Comics Code Authority, and really hurt this company particularly more than others, because others did have characters and lines that veered away from that and stuff. But EC, a lot of their books, a significant portion of them were these horror-based covers, horror-based books with these shocking, sometimes gory, sometimes sexualized, sometimes really violent covers that the Comics Code Authority really kept a very tight mandate on as far as what they were allowed to have on after the Comics Code Authority was instituted. So a lot of people will collect these pre-code books from EC. Personally, you've seen me pick up a bunch of them recently. I just got what did I get the other day? I forget what I got in a trade. It was a Tales from the Crypt, I forget number 38, I want to say it was. Posted that on Instagram just a few weeks ago. So we got two more books here. These last two are both slabs, and these are both for the personal collection. This one right here is Umbrella Academy, the free comic book day book. First appearance, so this predates Umbrella Academy #1. This was a preview of the series by Gerard Way, the singer of My Chemical Romance, one of my favorite bands, as well as art by Gabriel Ba. And this is a book that I've wanted in a 9/8 for a while. I have a raw copy. I think at this point completed the entire run of all three. I might be missing a book or two, but they have the three different limited series of Umbrella Academy. But I wanted this book particularly in a 9.8 because it is their first appearance. You see the price tag up here of $250. I did not pay that much. I saw that and I was like, yeah, that's probably a little high. Let me see what they're going for online. And I looked, and there was actually a buy it now. It's probably sold at this point because it was a low buy it now as compared to recent sales. Most recent sales had been between $150 and $200. So I thought this was a little high. I was right about that, but there was a buy it now for $130 plus shipping. And I said to the guy, I said, I don't mean to be this guy, but hey, I can buy this one for $130 plus shipping and everything. I'd probably be at around $150 all in. I don't mean to be a jerk, but like, can you match that? I'd rather buy it from you here and now than buy it online and, get it in a week or so. I'd rather give you business, but if you don't want to sell it for $150, you have it marked at $250. I totally understand, but I will pay you if you just match their price. I don't want it lower than the price I can get online. Just match it for me. He stuck out his hand. He gave me a handshake and said, "You got it, man. Absolutely." So we were able to make a deal on that. Now, don't be that guy who looks up a random outlying sale. Maybe this book had sold at auction for, $87 somewhere, and it was just like an outlier, and you're like, oh, can you match this price, or can you beat this price? Can you do it for 75? That, no one wants to deal with someone like lowballing in that sense. But, all I was asking for him was to match the price that I could buy it for online at that very second. And he was more than willing to do so. And not everyone's going to be. So, if someone's trying to hold out for a better price, that is their prerogative. But this guy, made me happy with this, agreed on that price. And, that makes me more willing to be a return customer in the future. And that is one of the reasons on my sales, I'll often give people some really good deals on stuff, especially when they bundle stuff together and get multiple books, because I want them coming back and grabbing more books from me in the future. So that being said, this was a great pickup, and there is one more slab that I got as well for a really solid price. And you saw it in the beginning of the video right here. This is one I've wanted for a while. I've owned raw copies. I've never owned a graded copy. And for me, especially, any modern book, any book from the last 30 years or so, really the 90s on, I want it in a 9.8. Honestly, most 80s books also, for my personal collection, I want in a 9.8 because they are attainable. They are out there, unless it is a really rare book or something like that. Bone 1, Albedo 2, TMNT 1. Like, I want the 9.8 if it's 80s and beyond. That being said, this book right here, haven't been able to pick it up in a 9.8. The couple raw ones that I've had were not really contenders, so I never sent them in or anything. But the market has been really down recently on especially modern books. Everything has been down. We had a huge spike in the market, and there's only naturally going to be a correction. That correction may be leveling out. We're seeing signs of that. We don't know what the future holds, but in my opinion, it probably is bottoming, leveling out, whatever you want to call it. And we will see an uptick at some point this year, whether it's, early in the year, winter, spring, or it's more like summer, fall. I think we're going to see it. But that being said, modern books like this one came out, what, 2003, 2005, they have been hit the hardest, which makes sense. They're the most plentiful, especially in a 9.8, and they're out there, and there's plenty of raw copies that are getting graded all the time, especially while the prices of everything was going up. Everyone was sending stuff in to get graded because it made sense to grade, pay the money, and sell the 9.8s. But this book has come down significantly. I think this book may have been over $1,000 at one point. Don't quote me on that, but I'll check and see. I'm actually curious to see what the high sale of this book is, but I think it was probably at or around $1,000 at one point. It has come down so much. Now, they had a price tag on this that said $460. And I looked at it and I was like, yeah, that's definitely a little bit more than it's selling for. I looked it up and it was selling for about $350. $350 was kind of the current going rate of Batman 635, which I didn't mention this. This is the first appearance of Jason Todd as the Red Hood, and it's an amazing cover. He's on the cover. Who did this cover? Matt Wagner cover. Great cover and awesome book. First appearance, major character, the rebirth of a major character rather, in a new role, and a role that we've seen in live action and cartoons and all that stuff. And but that being said, they had this for $460, and they said a lot of our prices are a little bit outdated. You can let us know. So I said, hey, what would you do on this? They said $325, and because I'm always looking for the deal, I said, hey, I got $300 cash right here. I would do $300 if you're interested in that. And once again, he extended the handshake. I got the deal on that, $300 under fair market value on this. Really solid Batman key. I think, it's worth between $350 and $400 on the current market. So I got it for less than that, but it's staying in the personal collection anyway, because I not only really like this character, really like this book, really like this cover, really like Batman, really like the Bat family, but I also have some high hopes for what is to come in the DC universe, whether it be the overarching James Gunn universe or the Matt Reeves Batman universe that might be unfolding. I'm hoping is staying around and unfolding. This character is one that we will certainly see on the big screen again at some point. Obviously we got him in Titans in live action on the small screen, HBO Max, but I really truly think within the next maybe 5, but if not, certainly 10 years, we will see Jason Todd, and we will see Jason Todd as Red Hood, probably in that time period. That is, something that I feel strongly about. I do believe in James Gunn. I do think that DC is finally going to have their time in the sun, and it is time to pick up those keys. And I also think the market has come to at or around its bottom. So I am okay with now picking up even modern books, as long as there are things that I'm not looking to flip this. I'm not looking to sell it in the next week or two. I'm looking to hold on to this for the long term, both for my personal collection because I like it, and also because I think it will go up in the future. Shaking the table. Sorry about that. Hope you enjoyed this video. It was a pretty small haul, but there was a lot of cool stuff in here. Some PC books, some speculation books, some stuff to just sell. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on Instagram, and don't forget, if you live in the New Jersey area, King Con is happening at the end of March. March 25th, that's a Saturday, and March 26th, it's a Sunday. It's a 2-day show this year. First time they're doing 2 days. Tons of other vendors there. My buddy Bronzeville Comics will be there. Very Gary, popular YouTuber, as well as some artists and things like that. So don't miss out on that event if you live within driving distance of New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, New York, New England, all that stuff. If you can make it out, I definitely recommend you do, because it is an awesome time. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking. Thank you so much. Until the next time, turn the page, wash your hands.